For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Jeremy Ipson with Santan Natural Medicine, naturopathic medical doctor, working hard to help people be healthier in a natural way. The next question I get a lot, especially about heart disease, and this February is American Heart Month, so this is kind of fitting. So my doctor said I need to be on cholesterol medication, but I read a lot about complications, and some of the websites say it's not even necessary. What is true? So very good question. So cholesterol is definitely an area of a lot of controversy. A lot of people don't understand exactly what's going on with thyroid hormone or with cholesterol. And so it's important that, yes, healthy cholesterol levels are important, but it's not necessarily the end all be all, the cause of every heart issue that's going on. So I actually found there's a video clip that I like. Let's see if it explains a little bit more about where that cholesterol myth came from, about why it's so important. It's from a movie called Fathead that I really like. So it's only 2 minutes or so I'm going to play that actually.
If you could pack all of human history into 1 year, we've only been farming and eating grain since about yesterday, which is when we became shorter and fatter. We only started consuming processed vegetable oils about 10 minutes ago, which is when heart disease became our #1 killer. So after examining all this human history, the experts came to the obvious conclusion. We need to eat a lot more of these. And so they convinced us that human health depends on foods we didn't eat for more than 99% of our entire existence. How did this happen? In the 1950s, a biochemist named Ancel Keys published a study that compared heart disease and fat consumption in a half-dozen countries. The more fat, the more heart disease. The trend line was unmistakable. Just one little problem. Keys left out countries where people eat a lot of fat but have very little heart disease, like Holland and Norway. He also left out countries where people don't eat much fat but do have a lot of heart disease, like Chile. In fact, Keys had reliable data from 22 countries, and the results were all over the place. But you can't make a big splash in the scientific community with a trend line that looks like this. So Keys did what any dedicated researcher would do. He threw out the data that didn't fit and published his results. His punishment for this bit of scientific chicanery was to get his picture on the cover of Time magazine. Keys became known as the father of the lipid hypothesis, which says that eating saturated fat raises the cholesterol in your blood, and high cholesterol in your blood clogs your arteries and causes heart disease.
The hypothesis that when you eat high fat, that produces high cholesterol, and the cholesterol produces heart disease, is wrong in every one of those links.
This whole idea that dietary fat causes cholesterol problems is sort of a myth. The whole idea that cholesterol problems lead to heart disease is a myth.
The theory is completely and totally wrong. It was a theory that was made out of whole cloth and then pushed.
The term artery clogging saturated fat, it's as though it's all one word.
It's become part of the zeitgeist. Everybody knows saturated fat is bad for you, but when you get back and you start looking at the medical literature and you root back through to find out where this whole idea came from, it's bogus.
So cholesterol is very important to you. For us, every single person needs to have good cholesterol levels. If they don't, then long term especially, there's lots of issues. And so the studies specifically, especially for women and for people who have never have had a heart attack, it's not really in the favor of using cholesterol medications to prevent heart attack and stroke, which is the main reason why we have them, or theoretically why you'd be taking them. So definitely something that you'd want to talk to your doctor more about, and hopefully they are up to date on what's going on with the different studies there. There's lots of books and movies even being coming out, and documentaries about cholesterol. There's a documentary that I really like called Statin Nation that I enjoy. It talks about this subject. Also a book called The Cholesterol Myth, and there's actually lots of books that talk about the cholesterol myth issues that you can find on Google or find on Kindle. Even some free books on Kindle that talk about it, that have all the information that you would need. So definitely, I think especially one of the reasons why cholesterol is emphasized so much is that it's very easy to test for and very easy to give someone a medication for and lower those numbers. So the labs improve, but the actual outcome with physical, the patients of having less heart attacks and less strokes is not really what is happening with that. All right, so our website is a great way to stay up to date with santannaturalmedicine.com. And also on Facebook, we have a Santan Natural Medicine page.